Hey guys, it is April from Getting Huggo With It. Today I have a review for you of a thriller that I just finished reading. I'm so excited to share this with you. It is The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. But before we get into it, please like this video if you do like it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I would love to spend more time with you. Okay, it's time. Let's talk about The Chalk Man. So I got The Chalk Man from Penguin Random House Canada. And it's funny, I had just finished doing my last currently reading and TBR video, and that night I saw in the post that I had something from Penguin Random House Canada. And I went to the post office to pick it up, got home, opened this, and just immediately started reading it. I just needed to read it immediately because I'd heard so much buzz about this. This is a book about kids in the summer. They're like preteen. They're just about to go into the teenage world, but they're not quite there yet. They create little chalk men drawings to each other as a kind of language all of their own. So they'll leave little drawings at the end of each other's driveway, and everybody has their own color. And so when they look outside of their window and see something, it's like, oh, come to the park, or we're going to the fair, or what have you. And so they're the only ones who understand this little language that they've created. And one day, their chalk men lead them to a dismembered body. And yeah, so that's the premise of The Chalk Man, which is just creepy in and of itself. And this is told in dual timelines. We've got the kids' lives in the 80s, and then we flash forward to modern day time, and we flash forward to them essentially as adults as well. So it goes back and forth, and we piece together what occurred that summer with The Chalk Man. It's interesting because when I began reading this, I was like, I don't know. This seems like a 3-star read. I'm enjoying it. I'm not blown away. Now, I think the struggle that I was having at the very beginning of this novel was this felt very much like It by Stephen King. It felt felt very close to it. And at first I was kind of like, is she trying to create a new story or not? Because it's feeling so reminiscent of It. As I went on, I will say, it became very clear that it was just a very, very large nod to Stephen King. And I actually went on a website, a blog that I read called Crime by the Book. It's really great if you haven't gone on that blog yet and checked it out. If you like thrillers and mysteries, you should. And she interviewed CJ Tudor, the writer of The Chalk Man. And she said, Stephen King is an enormous influence of mine. At first I was like, do you admire him so much that you're just going to rewrite it? But no, it really and truly was just a giant nod, because it moves beyond that for sure. I do have to say that I felt that way for about not quite 200 pages. Let me just say 170 pages. I was feeling that way. And then the storylines of these children and the children's parents, all of the storylines in this book had rooted, deep-seated storylines of their own. You know when you're reading a book and there are little references to other people's storylines, but they don't get discovered at all, and you don't go down that path? You go down all of those paths. Every single one of them. Every one. And I love that in a book. I love that in a book so much. And there were so many twists and turns that I did not see coming. I felt just blindsided. Honestly, there was a point where I was constantly like, oh, is this what's happening? Is that what's happening? I think I figured it out. And then at one point I literally said to myself, April, you have no idea what's going on, and it's okay. Just like keep reading and just go on this crazy ride. And so I did. And I was like, wow, this is a really great book. Totally 4 stars. And then the end happened. The last few pages of this book made me go, this is no longer 4 stars. This is immediately 5 stars. This is a 5-star thriller for me. This is one of my new favorite thrillers. I'm so happy that I was sent this. And like, trust me, I am very like, yes, I was sent this from Penguin Random House Canada. I'm very appreciative. But I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm always just honest. No matter if I was sent it or not. Me gushing about this is like genuine. It's so genuinely good. Like I will be truthful in the fact that the writing itself, like there are no sentences that you're gonna stop and go, let me just sit with that for a little bit. That's not what this does. This reads a little bit like Final Girls did, where the writing is not like perfect, but the storylines weaving into one another, like how she came up with this, 5 stars. I have to say, this book kind of makes me worry about my whole concept of like, I'll DNF a book if I'm not enjoying it. Like I was at 3 stars at the beginning, which I was enjoying it, but what if I was at 2 stars? What if I was thinking this was a 2-star read and then I had stopped and didn't get to the 5-star ending? I don't know. This book like genuinely makes me kind of second guess myself. I think this would be perfect as an adaptation. This must be adapted into a movie. Must. I don't know who would do this well exactly, but what director should do it, but it's got to be adapted. Honestly, this could be adapted into a mini series. This could totally be the next Big Little Lies. Much grittier Big Little Lies. So now I will read anything that CJ Tudor writes. This was her first book. What? This was her first book. I cannot wait to see what else she does. Go and get this. Go and get this. Thriller-a-thon is coming, and I highly recommend you read this one because it's now one of my favorite thrillers of all time. So I had to share this with you pronto because I was so impressed and so in love with this. So thank you to Penguin Random House Canada for sending me this freaking awesome book. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope you go and pick it up. If you have read this book, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. No spoilers in case someone wants to go and read this. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.